Hello there, Leo. Thank you for stopping by for your monthly tarot forecast for the month of February, excuse me. This is the first time I'm doing monthlies. I have a completely different format than I have for my weeklies. So I'm going to be interested to hear about your feedback, what you think about this format. But let's get going. Here we go for February, Leo. The first thing I'm looking at has to do with your environment. And for me, when I look at environment, that can be any place that you have energy and effort invested. Most of the time it shows up as home, but it can show up also as work or school. I've seen that happen before. So what's going on here? Looks to me like in your environment, there's some kind of choice in February that you are really having a hard time making, you're procrastinating on. And this choice has to do with two different things that you would like to have happen or have made manifest in your environment. So, maybe you're remodeling your kitchen and the big choice is between which cabinets should you get put in, or what flooring, or what color marble for the cabinets. You could also have a choice that would be a little bit bigger if it has to do about home, which might be if you're getting ready to move. This could be which place should we rent? We found two wonderful places. Or which place should we buy? We found two wonderful places. So can be a lot of different things going on, but you do have some decisions to make and you're having a hard time, or you're taking your time making those decisions having to do with your environment in February. Now, what's going on in your subconscious in February? So these are going to be like things that you're thinking about in the background that every once in a while float up to consciousness, but not all the time. So what you're working on in your subconscious is you're trying to figure out a way to put a little money away to make a profit and be able to stash some money away for something later on down the line. You want to get away from just spending money as soon as it comes in. Or if you don't do that, you already have some money stashed, you're looking at, okay, well, how can I stash away some money for something else? So that's what I see going on there. Excuse me, this curtain's bothering me. I hate it when people can see past the curtain. Like in The Wizard of Oz. Don't look behind that curtain. Okay, so let's move on. The next thing that I'm looking at is going to be your communication style. I'm seeing that in February for communication style, you're going to have a big flair for drama. So this could be being the drama queen, the drama queens, making a big impression. I feel like you guys are really looking to make a big impression. And a lot of times when I'm looking at communication style, this can be talking about in general, but many times I see it come up where it's talking about some kind of specific person or group of persons that you're communicating with. So you want to kind of keep in mind, okay, who is this actually talking about? Is this everybody, or is this people at work, or is this somebody I'm interested in? But there's communication with somebody in February where just really trying to make a fantastic impression and also trying to put on a happy face, trying to make everything seem like all is more than well, all is exciting and happiness and joy, joy, bliss, bliss. Now, the next thing that I'm looking at is that was communication style. I also want to look at learning style. I feel like in February you're not there's not really anything that you're so interested in learning, but I do feel like there are some things that you are learning, and you're learning them because other people are telling you, you need to know this, you have to figure this out, or whatever it is that they're saying to you. But I feel like any learning that you're doing in February, a lot of you Leos, you're going to be motivated by other people to do that learning, and it's not going to be something that you would have chosen were you left to your own devices in that area. Okay, so next thing that we're looking at for the month of February is work. How are things going for work? So you have to know work can be a tricky thing for me. When work comes in, it can be that way that you make a living, which is what most people think of when they think of work. But work also means something else to me, and so when I'm reading the cards, it can come in a different way. So work can be those things that you're doing to improve your character just as easily as that place where you actually go to make your money. So what I'm seeing about work here is, what would this be? looks to me like if this is work where you're actually making a living, this would be manifesting in a way that you may be feeling sort of unappreciated in February or underappreciated. Maybe people aren't really noticing what you're doing in February. And so that may be a feeling that you have. That doesn't necessarily mean that's really what's happening, but it's your perception of what's happening at work. And I'm getting a warning in here to be very careful to delineate the difference between your perception of what's going on and the reality of what's going on. Be aware that you could be not seeing things that are going on. In other words, there could be things going on behind closed doors that are very positive about you that you're not seeing whenever the doors are open. So you don't want to get into a whole little tizzy. If you're feeling a little bit unappreciated, just kind of be quiet, ride it out a little bit and see what happens. Let February pass on into March and just see where that train goes, because I have a feeling it's not going where you think it is headed. Now, let's see, that part of your personality that is being grown or expanded right now, I really see you going through some major transformation. This is at the core value level. So some of your core values, things that you've believed in for a very long time, are getting shaken up. You're looking at those, you're realizing, wait a second, this really doesn't make sense in my life. It doesn't work very well, and so you're replacing that old core value with something new. So that's where you're being grown and expanded right now, as those core values are basically upgrading. You're upgrading your core values in February. Now, things that you stand for. What is this saying? That's interesting. I never noticed that before. I would tell you guys the cards like I do in the weeklies, but I'm not really showing the cards for the monthlies because I read them completely different when I do a spread like this. So the normal characteristic meaning of the cards is just completely out the window. So that's why I'm not showing you guys the cards, because I feel like those of you who do know tarot, you're just going to be confused if I show you what I'm actually looking at in most cases. Okay, so the things that you're standing for, it looks to me like you've seen a few disappointments lately, maybe in February, but I feel like these disappointments kind of came before February, maybe January, late December. And I feel like these probably do have to do with business or with finances, with work somehow. So one of those three areas. So what I see you standing for in February is you, I feel like you have decided, because of those disappointments that you've had, that you want to take a good look at the big picture, at, you know, not just what's happening right now financially or work-wise, but what's the long-term goal and how do I get to the long-term goal? And I feel like you are setting some priorities in February about what you want to do to get, well, first of all, you're setting some priorities about what is my long-term goal, number one. And then I feel like you're setting some priorities about, okay, what do I need to focus on to get there? And you're starting to bring those things into focus, those things into priority for your focus in February. And this is something that I feel like you may be challenged on. You may have somebody outside of yourself challenge some of these decisions that you're making, some of these priorities that you're setting. And this is something that you're feeling very strongly about. You're standing up for yourself on this. And so if anybody was to challenge this, I feel like this is where you would say, step off, Jack. You got nothing to do with this here. I got it. I got this. That's what you would say about these priorities you've been setting. Okay, so the next thing that we're looking at does talk to me about how other people perceive you. And what I've got for this is that other people do perceive you as somebody who is a diligent, hard worker, somebody who, people perceive you as somebody who picks up new abilities and new skills very quickly, and somebody who puts them to use very quickly. And in fact, I feel like for some of you, people around you are actually amazed at how quickly you pick things up and put new ideas and concepts to work for you. Okay, so the lesson or experience that's coming up for February for you Leos has to do with It has to do with asking somebody else for help. And help can be financial. In this case, it very well may be financial. This may also be having a teacher or having an instructor, having somebody who is teaching you something that you need to know. You know, you like earlier in the spread, we saw that somebody was kind of telling you, look, you really need to know this stuff. You may be asking somebody for help to understand this stuff that you're trying to figure out to make these other people happy. This could be for financial help. This could be asking for a loan or asking for a little boost. But to me, it really feels like for most of you Leos, this help is not so much about money as it is about help with understanding. So maybe some advice, maybe some tutoring, like I said, with a new skill. Or maybe just help, you know, as you're putting this new skill into application, just a little bit of help to make sure that you're actually doing it in a way that's going to get this new thing off the ground for you that you've been learning about. Okay, so fulfillment of this of the spread that I'm looking at. So towards the ends of February, after you've gotten to that point where you've asked for help and you're incorporating what help came to you into your life, then we've got a couple of things really going on, and these kind of lean towards looking at the big picture once again like we have before. First of all, I do see you kind of daydreaming about, okay, wouldn't it be great if this was going on in my life? Or wouldn't it be great if I lived in a place like this? Or if I worked in a place like this? Or whatever. So some daydreaming going on. But more than daydreaming, I feel like once you get this help, you're starting to take some action steps towards reaching some of these wouldn't it be wonderful if ideas and having them in your life. The other thing that we have coming up as you're incorporating this, this help into your world is that you're actually starting to understand that there's a lot less limitations on you than what you were led to believe or what you thought before. So you're starting to understand about how we put limitations on ourselves by how we think, how we look at things, and you're starting to understand how to look at things, how to shift that energy and look at things in a different way so that you can take those limitations off yourself and let yourself have some more freedom. And then the other thing I see coming up towards the end of February, what is this exactly saying about you, Leos? Okay, so I feel like you've been going for most of February, and I feel like towards the end of February, you're starting to feel a little tired, you're starting to feel a little burnt out, you're starting to realize you're doing a lot of pedaling and you're not going that far. And so towards the end of February, I see you taking some time to just relax, chill out, maybe sort of rethink some things, and give yourself a chance to just kind of regroup before you get ready to go after these goals or these targets again that you have set for yourself. So this is kind of a time of rethinking things and reconsidering, okay, am I handling this the best way possible? Because I'm getting awful tired here with too little to show for it. So this is, as you get to the end of February, just refiguring things out. And like I said, most of this reading looks like it really applies to business or work or income. So I feel like this is going to have to do with a project at work, or, you know, if you own your own business, this may be a new project at that business, something along those lines, or something that you were doing with your income, maybe to create more income, you know, kind of rethinking, looking at this and going, you know, I feel like what you've decided to do and what you're doing is working, but it's just working very slowly. And so because it's working very slowly, you're kind of wanting to fine tune and tweak things. Okay, so that's your February, Leos. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I do appreciate all your likes, your shares, your subscribes, and your comments. Especially let me know what you think of this format. Everyone have a fantastic week. I will see you back, or excuse me, a fantastic month. And if I do monthlies again next month, I'll see you back here then. Peace out.